All right, I'm back. I'm back. All right, so I'm excited because we did episode 1 on YouTube. This is the YouTube creators pilot program that BIGO has came up with, which is super awesome. Absolutely love it, love it, love it, love it. So in the first episode of Loose from Bondage we did last night at 10 o'clock on YouTube live. And today we're doing the second part here on BIGO Live. So to all my people that are from YouTube that are here, I absolutely love you guys. Thank you for coming to this platform and joining me again. And on the other side, on the other side, you know that all my YouTubes are actually recorded from BIGO Live, and that's where I get it from. And you guys all are the ones who made me actually do a YouTube because you wanted to hear the motivations over that I do here. So thank you for that. I wouldn't be where I am on YouTube if it wasn't for you. So I absolutely love you guys. Thank you for being amazing. And you know, BIGO is my first law. BIGO is my live streaming original. So let's talk about it. So Loose from Bondage is, thank you, Sunflower. Thank you so much. So Loose from Bondage, we talked about yesterday that there's a parable about a man questioning, preacher, there's a parable about a man questioning about elephants that are tied to a thin rope, a small thin rope, and why they don't break out, why they're not free, and why don't they just go? Because literally they could just leave because they're so powerful and so strong, but they stay. And the owner said that the elephants, what happens is when they're very young, they attach them to these ropes. And they're young, so they're trying to leave, and they can't overpower the rope, so they stay. So what they do is they leave that same rope attached to them over time, and the elephant is so conditioned that even when it has the strength to leave, it doesn't, because it's so used to something, and it remembers something, so it's conditioned to believe that it cannot leave. And that's deep. A lot of our bondage comes from a mental place and not necessarily a physical thing. And what I mean by that is when we have bondage from generational curses or our family, it's not that. Crystal, hey, gorgeous. Shout out to everyone. Harley, I love you. Rich rising to everyone. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I hope you're feeling fantastic this morning. If someone did not tell you, someone didn't tell you this today, I'm telling you now, I absolutely love you. You should hear that you're high love. You should hear that you're loved. Thank you so much, Sunflower. You should hear that you're loved. You should hear, I love you, Sunflower. Thank you, love. You should hear that you're loved. You should hear that you are amazing and you're wonderful. And you should hear that. You should hear that all the time, because you know you are. And sometimes the things that we deal with, you know, we can't remember it because the world always tends to have us come to a place where we don't. It wants us to forget. And I'm here to remind you how amazing you are. So you are amazing. You're amazing. Crystal, thank you, love. You are amazing. You're wonderful. You're one in all the world. You are perfectly imperfect. You're absolutely amazing. Beautiful. Oh, thank you, Harley Quinn. You are everything. You are everything, because everything else is nothing without you. That's serious. Your kids are nothing without you. Your family, your job, your success, your life is nothing without you. We need you in it. We need you factored in. You're more than that. Thank you, Sunflower. You know, you're factored in that thing. Needed to say, yes, Quinn. So let me just give a shout out. I know we have a lottery going, but you're everything, Sunflower. You're everything, Crystal. You're everything, Harley. You're everything, CEO Marie. Marie! You're everything, No Name. You're everything, Preacher. You're everything, Thick. You're everything, I Am Life. You're everything, LaFair. You're everything, User. You're everything, Smooth Talk. You're everything, Jamike. You're everything. This life couldn't be a life without you, you know. And remember that. And that isn't contingent on anything. So that means I don't have to have it all together. I don't have to have the best life going on. Everything doesn't have to be figured out for me to understand that I am worthy. I'm valuable. I have essence about myself and those things. So remember how beautiful and extraordinary you are. Put that. Hey, love. Remember how beautiful and extraordinary you are and wonderful you are. Remember that. So when we talk about loose from bondage, I love you, Rich Rising. We talk about loose from bondage. The elephant is conditioned, even though they have the strength to leave, the strength to break out of this bondage. They don't, because they're conditioned. So what has caused you in your life to be conditioned? To stay in this bondage? What has happened in your life and caused you to be in a place where you can't come out of this bondage? What conditioned you? Was it a childhood trauma? What conditioned you? Was it your past mistakes? What conditioned you? Was it your emotional baggage? What conditioned you to feel like you can't get out of this thing? To feel stuck, to feel like you can't get out of this thing. And it could be many things. And we talked about on YouTube, we talked about what rope is making you stuck. What is the name of that rope? And we talked about 2 steps that will help you to get out of this freedom. And one of the steps is find and name the rope. We have to unmask the problems, the fears, the misbeliefs, the struggles. We have to come to a place to face that thing, because if we don't face it, we can't remove it. And that's what it is. If we don't choose to stop and take a moment, Crystal, thank you, love, for the tap. If we don't choose to stop and take a moment to see, why am I like this? What is the rope that's tying me down? What is the rope that makes me feel like I'm not strong enough to break out of this thing? One thing that we spoke about yesterday was that a lot of times what keeps us, and it really is, what keeps us in the bondage is a mental state of mind, a mental thinking, how we think, right? Because with the elephant, we can't, Pantry of Love, with the elephant, we can't ever come to a place, and the elephant is large enough to leave, but he won't, because he's in his own mind. In his own mind, he tried it before and it didn't work. Doesn't it sound like somebody we know? Thank you, Sunflower. In the elephant's mind, he tried it before, but it didn't work. So he chooses not to try again. We get to a place, congratulations everybody that won. We get to a place to say, there's no use fighting. It's just the way it is. There's no use fighting. It's not going to change. This is how it is. And we decide our lives before we can even live it. We decide what our lives are before we can even live it. Foxy, hey gorgeous. Thank you for the beans. Thank you everybody. Thank you, and I appreciate all the love and all the gifts. You guys are amazing. We have failed before we even started. That happens to us because we believe that we can't do it. We don't believe that we are enough, so we decide that we fail before we even try. And you know what gets even deeper? What's deeper is, thank you, Foxy. Hold on, I gotta clear that. Hold on. I gotta clear the pop-ups. So we decide that we fail before we even try. And let's get deeper. What we also do is we run the whole race, and before we get to the prize, we give up. Man, that's something. Thank you, Crystal. Thank you, Foxy. Before we even get to the finish line. We see the finish line. We're moving towards the finish line. And right before we get there, we give up. And some of us, we get and past the finish line, but choose that we're not worthy to. Come on, preacher. But choose we're not worthy enough for the prize, but we made it. That's deep. That's real. We actually lived this thing. We actually survived. We actually got past it. We pressed through. We pressed through, but we made it. We're standing on the top of that hill with the victory. And we choose to put down the flag. We choose not to take the reward because we still don't believe we're good enough for it. We can get through it. We can win. Come on, Crystal. Come on, Foxy. We can get through it. We can win. But we, even when the reward is handed to us, we choose not to take it because we don't feel worthy. We don't feel worthy. We don't feel like we made it. We don't feel like we're good enough. And we could have proven it. But it doesn't matter what people see, and it doesn't matter on the outside. And it doesn't matter if we actually get through it if we don't believe it on the inside. Come on, preacher. If we don't believe it on the inside, right, Crystal? If we don't believe it on the inside, that I believe that I'm worthy of it. Even deeper than this, because you know what? When you believe you're worthy of it, even whether you win or you lose, you feel worthy. What do I mean by that? What I'm saying is, when I try to run the race and I don't make it, I still am winning. Why? Because I tried my very best and I gave it all I can. And if I didn't make it, it's okay because I'm learning something, and that's the winning part of it. But no, and if I won the race and I passed the finish line and I get it, I'm worthy enough to accept the award because you did the work to get there. Honey, you're a winner regardless. You're a winner regardless. Come on, Sunflower. What do you mean? I'm going to win whether you think I lose or not. I'm always going to win because I'm always going to be greater than where I started. Whether I lose the race, I'm greater than when I started. And whether I win the race, I'm still greater than where I started. I'm always winning. That's part, preacher. Come on now. Christ deemed you worthy. That's why he died for you. Come on, preacher. Yes. I already won when he died for me on the cross. I won when I was conceived in this world to reach a great destiny. I won when when my father made me who my father is. I'm a winner. Your experiences are not the things that determine whether you're a winner. Your experiences are not what determine whether you're a winner. You can lose the race and you're still winning, my love. You can win the race and you can be the winner of the race, but you're still a winner. At the end of the day, when we talk about bondage, if you believe that it will never work and it will never change, it won't. When we believe that it will never change, it won't, because we don't try. We already have decided to fail before we even put an effort in. That part, preacher. Your history doesn't define your destiny. When we are concerned more about our divinity, then we always win. It's not about what other people say. It's not about how I look. It's not about what's going on. But when I see myself and I align myself, right, give up before you even try. That part, your current situation is not your final destination. Come on, Foxy. Come on, Sunflower. Yeah, this isn't it for me. This isn't it for me. One of the greatest runners in the Olympics have failed again. Would they have ever known that the 20th time that they failed and lost a race, that they would be the greatest ever known to run in the Olympics? Come on. Right, preacher? Everybody's a preacher today. We better go ahead. That's what I'm talking about. Isn't that something? We'll go to Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan had fought and fought and fought and practice and practice and practice. Wasn't allowed to be on the team. This and that. Going back, practice, practice, practice to be one of the greatest basketball players of all time. So what are you saying, Candy? What I'm saying is that we can't, what am I saying, Annie Marie? We can never come to a place to decide that it's not going to work for us and fail before we even try. Because the failure is what's going to get you the prize. Come on. The trying, the effort, the mistakes is what's going to get you to where you need to go. If you're not able to condition yourself to make those mistakes and then grow from them, I'll never be able to reach what I need to reach. That part. I need my failures. I need the tries. I need the mistakes to get me to where I'm going. And that's why I'm winning, because this isn't the final race. Let's go. Come on now. But you lost. This isn't my final race, baby. This ain't the last of me. This ain't gonna be the last you see of me. I didn't lose because this isn't it. Come on. This isn't it. There's more to me than just this. I'm more than this. I'm gonna have many races and maybe I'll win or lose, but I'm still winning. Come on, Foxy. This ain't the last for me. This ain't the last you're going to see of me. This ain't my last race. I'm still in it to win it. Come on now. I'm still in it to win it. My mistakes made me who I am because I learned from them. Yes. Come on. So when we talk about bondage, I'm going to come to a place to break free. I'm going to break free from shame. I'm going to break free from insecurity. I'm going to break free. It's not impossible. It can't be blessed, hey love. It can't be impossible. You know why? It's not impossible because my God is in. I serve a possible God that does the impossible. So if he is for me, then I can break through these things. Come on. I can break through these things. I can break free from this shame that I'm feeling. If he died for us and paid the price for us and felt the greatest shame walking to this cross, then how? I don't need to feel it anymore. He died for my sins, so why do I need to feel this? I need to step into a place and change my perspective. Come on, Crystal. I'm going to change my perspective on things. You're more than what you've been through. Yes, come on. You're so much more. We can't decide to fail before we even try. What we must understand, Marie, thank you, love. What we must understand is we don't always have to win. We win when we try our best. I'm going to say that again. We win when we try our best. Hi, love. Welcome forward. 11. Hi, love. We win when we try our best. That's when we win. It's not when we make it. It's not when we finish the race. Thank you, Bless. I love you. It's not when we face. Success is the effort. Success is where that's it. Success comes in the effort. The effort is where we win. That's where we win. So don't decide to fail. You can't fail if you try. You cannot fail if you try. We talked about yesterday that our positive thoughts of ourself, listen to this, our positive thoughts, thank you, Crystal, our positive thoughts of ourself have to be louder. Our positive thoughts of ourself have to be louder than other people's negative thoughts about us. Well, how do we know that? How do we know if that's happening? How do we know if that's working? Well, when we think highly of ourselves, or we think of ourselves that we're going to do something, I'm going to start my own business. And we go to someone else's house and we're excited. Okay, let me ask you this. Have you ever been in a place where you're excited about something, whether it's an idea, something that's going on in your life, whatever it is, you was excited about it. You went around someone else, and when you left their presence, preacher's ready. When you left their presence, when you left their environment, you didn't feel the same anymore. Put a 1 in the comments. Put a 1 in the comments if you ever was excited about something. You know, the Bible talks about when, you know, it came around Mary and her baby jumped. That's a soul connection. That's someone that is helping you to grow, that's encouraging you. You know, you want somebody that's going to make your baby jump. Have you ever been around someone? Come on, Crystal. Have you ever been around someone and then you were so positive and you were so happy about what was going on in your life, or you were so happy about an idea you had, and as soon as you left them, you just didn't feel the same? It wasn't the same anymore. You didn't feel like it. You wasn't happy about it no more. You wasn't encouraged anymore. It just felt like, oh, that wasn't a good idea. You know, in that place is when our positive thoughts about self is not as loud as people's negative thoughts about us. And you, come on, high maintenance, and you have to very few, so I don't. Come on. You have to know who you are, whether you're excited or not. And remember not to share things with everyone. Oh, that's another thing, not to share things with anyone, because little do you know, your actual friend could actually be envying you. Your actual friend could be the one that doesn't want it to succeed because they wish it was them. That's what envy is. I want what you have. You see, I want what you have. Can I have what you have? Can I take what you have? I wish I can have that thing. And they will stop it, because if I can't have it for me, then you can't have it. And they're really your friend because they want you close, because they can't have what you have, so they get the closest thing, and that's being your friend. I don't know why I'm going here, but thank you, Most High. This is for somebody. They want to be close to you because that's the closest way they can live your life. That's the closest way they can have what you have. That's the closest way they can act like and use your abilities. That's the closest way they can access your gifts. That's the closest way. So they're your friend. But when things happen, they don't want you to elevate because they really want what you have. And a lot of times when they're good about it, they can say certain things to you about it, and you won't even recognize that they're really bringing you down. Oh, I'm so excited that I have this business happening. Oh yeah, that's awesome. Oh yeah, you'll be great at it. That is a great idea. Oh yeah, but well, I can see if I can watch the kids. But then I work late nights sometimes, and then what are you gonna do then? You know, I don't mind what, you know, I watch them on certain days, but if you're having a daycare, you need that open 24/7. So, you see, and they find ways to get in, and they slowly chip at that dream. They slowly chip at that confidence that you have, that excitement that you have, and then you stop. So you have to be careful. They're not friends in the first place. Yes, Smooth, they're not. But some people are undercover frenemies. Some people are undercover frenemies. And I'm going to be real with you, because it happened to me. 12 years of calling somebody my best friend, and they didn't love me for who I was. They loved me for my gifts. They loved me for my personality. They loved me for what I can give them. And they couldn't help me as who I am. So friends and some leeches, that part. In time of trouble, you can't find them with a search warrant. I'm done. No, preacher, that's facts. That's 100%. You see that? And I'm going to tell you this. When we talk about loosing from bondage, we got to come to a place to break free from the shames and insecurities. Everything we feel that is impossible. Because it is. Because of the God that we serve. And the only way that we can do that is if we find and name the rope. Find what that bondage is. What is that chain in your life? Is a chain an addiction? Is a chain family trauma? Is a chain relationships? We got to find, is a chain self? Sometimes a chain could actually be you. you holding yourself in bondage. Because you're saying, if I do that, I'm going to fail anyway, so I'm not. You decide that you fail before you even try. The second part is we have to be able to adapt to change. We have to adapt to change. I have to learn something new to identify what the problem is. Thank you, Sunflower. And be able to act differently for the solution. We don't want to change because then it brings in effort. You see how effort keeps coming in? If we win when we have effort, when we try, the reason why we're not winning is because we don't want to. A lot of times we don't want to adapt to change. We don't want change to come because we don't want to put in the effort. The effort means I got to do something different. The effort means I don't know what the outcome is. There we go, talking about that unknown again. The effort means that I could fail. In my view of what failure is. Sometimes we stay in a negative place by choice, right? Because we don't want to do it. When we talk about this power struggle, we don't want to adjust to change. Well, I'm good at, I know this is something, but I'm good at this. I don't want to change. I'm good at being abused. I'm good at being talked down to. I know how to handle that. I know what to do. But if I step into this thing, I don't want to relearn how to live. But what we spoke about yesterday is, in order for us to be loose from bondage, we got to step into the new norm. And the new norm is more difficult than actually being in bondage. Come on. Is that not it? The new norm is actually more difficult than being in bondage. How and why? It's the same as, let's talk about slavery. When slavery was truly abolished years and years later than before it was declared, super uncomfortable. The slaves were free, and most of 60% of the slaves went back to their masters asking if they could stay because they're not used to it. Is that not deep? Shalom, King. Welcome for Dragon. Is that not deep? We have to be mentally free. It's not just about the physical, but we have to be mentally free. Why do you still deal with that childhood trauma? Because it's still in your mind mentally. You relive it every day. Why do you still deal with that trauma even at the age of 40, 35, 25? You still live it every day. You still live it every day because it lives clear in your mind. You haven't let it go. So what is that trauma doing? It is affecting the way you live. If I'm reliving trauma constantly, I could never actually truly live because I always feel like I'm being harmed. Come on. When we don't come to a place to be able to go to therapy or go somewhere to release these thoughts, we will always be condemning ourselves. That's it. We'll always, thank you, Sunflower. We will always be condemning ourselves. Yay. We will always be condemning ourselves 24/7. Do you hear me? Do you hear that? 24/7 condemning ourselves because we're reliving these traumas. We got to release ourselves from them. You got to, if you can, go to therapy. Therapy is amazing. And we can work out the things how we feel. We've gone our whole life. Some of us have went 40 plus years of not being able to express how we feel. Do you know how sad that is? 40 plus years. Man, we have never been able to tell somebody how we truly feel from our heart. And I'm talking about our life. Not how we feel about them, but how we feel about us. You know, I always felt like I never deserved to be molested as a child. You know, I felt like I was innocent, and how could somebody do that to a kid that doesn't know nothing? You know, and I feel like because that happened to me, I always have issues in my relationships when it comes to any sexuality, and it really bothers me, and I don't know why. We have never been able to speak those things, those deep, dark things that has happened to us, and explain on why we feel the way we feel, to work out that thing, to break down these problems and these situations. Somebody's how they feel about themselves based on how others feel about them, right? We don't want change because it generates stress. So we rather live in the stress that we deal with day to day, right? When we deal with change, it does generate some stress, but it's not something that we live in. It's something that we feel for a moment, and then we get over it. But we shouldn't choose to live there. The second step that we are talking about, because I said we have 2 steps to lose the bondage. The second step is adapted to change, but we have to be able to, and that change involves the Most High. That's the second step. Turn to Him. The change involves the Most High, because He's the one who can set you free. He is the one who can set you free. Turn to Him and change our way. Make a new, thank you, love. Make a new decision. Make a new choice. Starting that new normal for you. And that new normal has to involve Him. My Father needs to be involved, because that's the only way I'm going to break through these impossible things, because He's a possible God. So that's what I'm going to do. I need to involve Him. He needs to be a part of the equation. He needs to be able to be with me, live with me, breathe with me. I need to make space for Him. If I keep Him as the head, then I will always be able to be in a safe place. I will always be able to get that peace that surpasses understanding. And I'll break free from this bondage. I'll break free. Thank you for the taps. Thank you, love. Thank you, Crystal. I'll break free from this bondage. This bondage won't overpower me anymore. This bondage won't ever come to a place that is going to hold me back. Yes, that part, preacher. The safest place is in His will. The safest place is in His will. You know why? Because He already designed it for you. He already made it for you. He knows every step, every left, right, every turn. He knows every turn, every way. He knows it. And if He knows it, New York and love. And if He knows it, then what's more safer than being the guy that actually made the journey? To be with the guy that actually made the journey. Hi, love. How are you? I missed you. Come to a place to unmask those problems. Identify. I love you. Identify. Thank you so much, love. Identify them. Identify the things that are holding you back. Come to a place to recognize that you're bigger than this. We talked about that yesterday, right? You are so much more valuable, and you are so much stronger than your bondage. The same way we would look at a grown elephant being attached to a small string and wonder why they haven't broken out yet. That's the way other people, and that's the way you would see your life if you was able to step outside of your life and look outside the box. You know how we know that? We know that because of our past experience, right? I said to myself, man, that relationship, my ex's relationship, that was ridiculous what I was doing. That's unheard of. Why did I do this and why did I do that? And that was silly. And we start looking at the relationship outside the box because we're not in it anymore. And we say that, right? We say like, how did I let them do that to me? How did I let that? Why would I allow myself to do this? And why would I do that? And it doesn't look good. But when we're in it, we're in our mind. But when we're outside of it, it's the same thing with the elephant. We see this big elephant attached to the way. What's going on? We need to step outside the box and look at our lives and see why. Wait, that don't make sense. How did I decide that I failed before I even tried? That doesn't make sense. And we got to start stepping outside the box when we start doing that, when we start coming to a place to identifying this bondage. And this rope and this chain is not stronger than me. My childhood trauma is not stronger than me because I'm still here. Come on. The last relationship that I dealt with, that toxic relationship, isn't stronger than me. Why? Because I'm still here. That job, that rejection that I had is not stronger than me. The shame because I'm still here. The insecurity because I'm still here. I have to be greater than this bondage that I dealt with. I got to, because I'm here now. Right? Because I'm here now. I'm still here. I still can win. I still can overcome. I still can break these chains. Yesterday we talked about where the Spirit of the Lord God is, where his hands rest, there's freedom. You can be free from bondage or bondage. Spirit of the Lord our God, his hand rests there, is freedom. You can be freed from bondage and healed from brokenness and full of joy. Be free. Be free. I ask you, my king and queens, to be free. You can be freed from bondage and healed from brokenness and gain and get that full of joy. The joy of the Lord is my strength. Be free. Phoenix, hey love. Be free. The Spirit of the Lord our God, his hand rests there, his freedom. You can be freed from bondage and healed from brokenness and full of joy. Be free. Be free. He'll do it for you. He freed us the day that he had died on the cross for us. Who wouldn't serve a God like that? He freed me when I didn't love myself. Come on. He freed me when I didn't love myself. He freed me when I didn't know I needed to be freed. Oh, that part. I'm thinking about it. I'm thinking about me attempting suicide. I'm thinking about all those things. He freed me when I didn't know I needed to be free. My last relationship, he made things get shed to the light. Okay? Yes, thank you, preacher. All praise to the Most High. He freed me in my last relationship, and I didn't even know I needed to be freed. Come on, Leroy, hit love. I didn't even know I needed to be free. And he freed me. Why? Because his love. He loved us the day that he died on the cross. He loved us before we died on the cross. He loved us before we was even conceived. And he still does. Hey, love. He still does. He loves us just like that. And even when we can't find ourselves, there's no energy on the inside to love us because of what we could be going through, because of what we feel like, the wrong choices that we made, or whether it's rejection, whatever it is, he still loves us. So let him free you from whatever. Camilla, hey love. Let him free you from whatever it is. He looks past our faults and sees our needs. Yes, he does. And that's the people that we want. That's the people that we want in our life. We want him to be the head, and we want to have divine connections. Divine connections cause people that are in that godly people that are connected to him and his being, connected and already designed for this journey and this destiny for us. People that will help us, grow with us, love us unconditionally. And that's what we're looking for. And that's what helps us to stay out of this bondage. The journey begins with 2 steps, loosing from bondage. One is finding and naming that bondage. And the second thing is communing with him, getting a relationship with him, turning to him, turning to the Most High and saying, you know what, I can't do this all by myself. There's some things that we're bound to and we don't even know it. Most High, find those things. Help me to release those things. And as long as we live in His will, He will guide us into releasing, thank you, Sunflower, releasing that bondage without us even asking. Lioness, thank you, love. Thank you, gorgeous. You see that? How do I know that? Thank you. Yay. Thank you, love. How do I know that? I know that because it happened to me. 28 years dealing with my mother, I never knew that I was still bound to the hurt and the abuse and the things that had happened to me throughout all my life. And I thought I was forgiven and I thought all these things, but He brought it to my attention that I'm not, that I'm still bound to this hurt. I'm still bound to the trauma that had happened to me as a child, adolescence, as a teenager, and everything that you can talk about. And He showed it to me. And He freed me from that thing. And I was dealing with someone the other day that was asking me, they said, Candy, I can't. They recently got in a breakup and they said, I can't, it's hard to live. And I've been there before. I broke up with someone before and I felt like I couldn't breathe. I felt like life didn't have meaning. I felt like, why? There was a lot of things that, thank you, love. There's a lot of things that were going on, and maybe we all have been in a place like that in our life where we dealt with a breakup. And it also could be family. Something that happened with our mother, something that happened with our father, that we feel like, it's so bad that we can't even feel like how do I get this pain out? How do I get this hurt out that's in there? How do I get past this thing? I just want it to be over. I don't want to go back to them. I know it's not right. I know the Most High has let me out. How do I do it? How do I get back? And, there was a time that I didn't seek Him. So I felt like there's nothing I could do but go back. I needed it to be a reason why it was a breakup. I felt the way I felt because the breakup was, I felt like I could have did something else to make it work. So I felt like it was my fault. I could have did it this way. I could have did it that way. This could have been better. That could have been better. And that overpowered my mind. And when it overpowered my mind, I went back to say, the only way I could break up this relationship is I know that I didn't try my 100%. And that's false. It's not about that. I felt like I couldn't do it. There's nothing to solve it. But there always is. Because it's Him. He is the one. And the Most High showed me, I did it for you before. Why couldn't I have did it again? And it was right. I had this crazy, horrible breakup, and it was sitting in my chest. The sad, the sorrow, the hurt, the guilt, the pain, the shame, the insecurity. Everything was sitting in my chest for a month, and I was in church and praying and this and that and just going through the motions and not even motions. I just really wanted it. And I'm like, and it wasn't until I went to the altar and I gave it to Him at the altar and said, Lord, take this from me. And He said, make your requests be made known. When I said, take this from me, I went to the altar. I released everything. I stood up. And my pastor at the time, immediately, as soon as I stood up, and it was during prayer, it was completely dark, and we prayed and we worshiped and things, and it wasn't. And immediately I stood up. She came to me, put her hands on my chest, and I felt my insides. It was like the weight of my insides all was pulling out. Everything. It was like I could breathe. Every pain, every sorrow, every shame, every hurt, everything that I was feeling for months that I wanted to take my own life because it hurt so bad. It pulled right out of me. She spoke over me. And this is all praises to the Most High because He used her. He used her. He used her in spite of her wrongs that she was doing. He used her to pull it out. She laid hands on my chest And I felt the weight that I just dropped to my knees. It felt like my insides were taking out. This spirit, this thing that was in me was like, you don't belong, and took it right out. And I fell to my knees and I cried and worshiped him, and I could breathe again. It was gone. And he reminded me when this person had asked me, how do I do it? My answer, it was so crazy. When they asked me, I said, you know what? I know it's really hard and it's easier said than done. And I went through this whole thing. It's easier said than done. You know, I went through it and I couldn't even get through it. And I'm just going to be real with you. It's not something light. And he brought to my remembrance immediately when he did it. And I said, you know what? Wait, hold on. I'm wrong. Yes, you can. But you can't do it. He can. You can't do it yourself. And the reason why I said there's no way you can't is because I tried to do it myself. And it don't work like that. He did it. He took it from me. I mean, it was a night and day. It was night and day. It was night and day. It was gone immediately. And the thing is, he brought to my remembrance to message her. And when I went to message her just to encourage her, because I know it's a hard time, he brought to my remembrance when he did it. And I said, he will do it. And I prayed right there to her on the voice message. And I called that thing out. And I told her that it's going to be removed. I cast it back into the pits of hell. And I did it all in the name of Jesus. And I claimed it. And I stood steadfast. And I prayed that thing out of her through a voicemail, as if I was laying hands. And you know, she's healed. She's healed. All praises to the Most High. How he loves us. How he loves us. She's healed. She called me the next day. She said, I don't know. She said, all I could do is keep crying. I felt the power through the phone. And it's God. It's God. How he loves us. How he loves us. Zude. He is jealous for me. His love's like a hurricane. I am a tree bending beneath the weight of his wind and mercy. And all of a sudden, I am unaware of these afflictions eclipsed by glory. And I realize just how beautiful you are and how great your affections are towards me. And oh, how he loves us all. Oh, how he loves us. He loves her so much that he brought to my remembrance the exact thing that will help heal her. You see that? I want you to remember, King and Queens, as I get off of here. Remember that all you go through is not just for you. There is somebody out there that's hurting from childhood abuse. There's somebody out there that's hurting from toxic relationships. There's somebody out there that's hurting from self-destruction, self-sabotage. Somebody out there that's hurting because they didn't do their shadow work. And we go through these things, and it's not for naught. It's not just because. Yeah, we learn from it, but it's for us to teach and help and show. You need a miracle, King. You need a miracle, Queen. I am it. I am a living miracle. I am proof that there is a God. We are. You are. You have a story that needs to be told. You have a survival story. You made it in spite of. The very thing that was going to kill you didn't. You're here to tell this tale. You're here to tell the story. Where can you tell me that there is no value in that? You are valuable because you're here. You're valuable because you made it. If you wasn't valuable, why would you have ever survived? You are a survivor because you're worthy. Your worth was found since you were created in your mother's womb. Your worth discovered you on the day of the cross. Your worth discovered you on the day of the cross, that he had died for us. Died for us. And his blood still works. Do you hear me? Just like that phone call, his blood still works. It still works. It never lost its power. Never ever lost its power. It still works today. I love you all, and I want you to remember that. Remember that his love still works. Remember who you are to him. He will see to you. He sees to you and through prayer. He sees through you through other people. He sees through you through signs, through signs. Always. He loves you just like that. I appreciate you all being here. And I thank you for being so amazing and listening. I love you as well, your beautiful spirit. Oh, all praise to God. All praise to the Most High. I wasn't always like this. But you know, we can. Thank you, Phoenix. Thank you, love. I could say I wasn't always like this because I did. Sometimes we don't reach our potential, and not our full potential, but at least our potential. And the Most High, hold on.
1 month in Congress, and it's clear Pat Ryan hasn't changed on crime. Now voting 96% with.
It's true that, you know, we make change when we make decisions and choice, right, Crystal? And I wasn't always like this because I didn't come into the potential of who I'm supposed to be. And remember that. Don't say, well, God made me like this, so this is... Yeah, no, he made you a certain way, and you're like this now, but because of, as Crystal's saying, because our decisions and our choices, we begin to grow in who we are. And, you know, I love people the way I love me. I love people the way I love me. And when I say I love me, when you talk about self-love is 3 things. Self-love is knowing your value, knowing your worth, and knowing and having a relationship with the Most High. That's what self-love is. Self-love is I love me because I love him. And the reason why I love myself more and more every day is because he shows me how much I'm worthy of that love. And how does he show me that? He shows me that of himself. He says, I'm giving you this thing and I love you this way because you're worthy. And that's how I recognize that I'm worthy, because of how he loves me. That's it. When I don't feel like I'm worthy, I worship him, and then I realize that I am. You know, that's deep. When I don't feel like, I'm talking about the times I was learning this self-love, when I don't feel like I was worthy, I worshiped him. That's what I went to. I worshiped him. And he showed me why he blesses me. He showed me why he saved me. He showed me why. And he begins to show you these things. And you realize, well, I got to be worthy if he died for me on the cross. And I got to be worthy if he stopped me from killing myself. And I got to be worthy. And we remember and we see that you're worthy, love. You're worthy, king. You're worthy, queen. You are worthy. Your life doesn't make you worthy. And I mean the experience, things that you've been through, who you're with, how many friends you have, how many family members love you, who loves you, who doesn't. None of that. None of that. You're worthy because he made it so. You are worthy because he made it so. Nothing can change that. Not our mistakes, not what we do, not anything that's happening. Nothing can change that you are worthy because he made it so. And he is God. He is God all by himself. And whatever he chooses to do is done. You're choosing to go against something that's already done. What's done, Candy? Your worth, your value. It's already been made. Can't change. Your view of it can, but it can't change. Take $100 bill, you could crinkle it up, it's still a value of $100. You could fold it up, it's still a value of $100. You could put it in your pocket, you could bury it, you could throw it in the wind. It's still $100, and that's what it is. It already is what it is. Whether you choose to see it or not, I could believe that the $100 is $1, but when I go to the store, honey, and I go to the dollar store, it's gonna give me $99 back because it is worth $100. That's what we do. We expect in our life that our value is something else, but the world and God keeps giving us something different. We give $100 saying it's $1 and he gives back 99. We say the situation is $1 and how we feel about ourselves is $1 and he gives us back 99. Honey, you keep handing 100, whether you want to believe it or not, you are valuable, you are worthy, and he's going to keep showing it to you until you understand who you are. He wouldn't die on the cross just for no one. He wouldn't do what he does for something that doesn't have value. He gave his life because you do. All right, my loves. Come on, know your worth. Yes. And that's how you do it. The more you worship him, the more... Candy, I don't know my worth. I know you're saying that, and it sounds really nice, but the way what I'm going through in my life and my situation right now, it's not matching what you're saying, honey. It's not matching what you're saying. Everything you're saying sounds real good, and I love it, and I feel it. But when we look at everything on the table, hit the fan. It doesn't look nice, okay? It's not pretty. Worship him. OP, hey love. Press, hey love. Worship him. That's it. That's my answer for you. If I don't really know my value, Candy, then worship the Most High. And he will show you it. He will show you all the things that you're blessed about, even living. Why? Because even living, that's it. I love you all. Okay, I'm really getting out of here. Loose yourself from bondage. Why? Get that relationship with the Most High. You guys want, yes, thank you so much, Sunflower. You guys want part 1 of this episode. This is episode 2. If you want part 1, please go to my YouTube, Ani Marie. It's YouTube/Ani Marie. It can't get easier than that. You find my page immediately. Thank the Most High, and thank you all for your love and support. That I have an official YouTube page, over 1,000 subscribers. So yes, on the flyer, please, Ani Marie. Yay! Thank you so much, Crystal. Ani Marie. It's YouTube/Ani, ANIMARIE, Ani Marie. Very simple to get there. Go there and subscribe. You can check out the first episode of this. BIGO is super awesome, doing a YouTube creators pilot program, which we're doing YouTube and coming to BIGO, and it's nice and it's fun. So I appreciate that. So shout out to BIGO, who is absolutely awesome for this platform. Thank you, and most of all, last but not least, thank you to my king and queens. I love you guys from the bottom of my heart. I will tell you over and over again how much I love you, because I do. I love you so much. Nothing will ever change that. I love you deep down from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for being wonderful. Thank you for being amazing. And never forget how valuable you are. And loose yourself from that bondage. It don't look good on you. You hear me? Loose yourself from that bondage. It doesn't look good on you, my love. You're so much more beautiful than that. You're so much more handsome than that. You don't deserve that thing. All right. I love you guys, and I'll see you soon.